be talking cash shit while I'm popping my gold grill. I'm a whole rich bitch and I work like I'm broke still. Why the love be so fake, but the hate. I be talking cash shit while I'm popping.
Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's event. My name is Mauricio, and I'm extremely happy to be hosting today's event. And you guys are in for a treat. Now, the person that I'm going to be interviewing today, because more than an interview, is going to be like a get together with a friend, is somebody who I deeply admire. Is that somebody who's been an entrepreneur and a business owner for several years. We're going to be getting to know more about him in just a few minutes. But I just want to explain how tonight's going to be working. Now, we're going to be taking your questions. So, feel free to write anything in the chat. We like seeing people, so I invite you guys, especially those of you who are on Zoom. I know there's people who are joining us on YouTube as well, so I invite you guys, if possible, to activate your cameras so we can look into your eyes, we can see each other, we can have a really nice 30 to 35 minutes. So if you guys are watching the recording on YouTube later, it's awesome. We love talking about entrepreneurship, about options, because especially nowadays in current circumstances, it's not even an option, but more than it's more like I have to learn how to build something of my own. And the person who's going to be talking to us tonight, he knows all about that. I'm going to be asking some difficult questions, so hopefully you're going to be able to answer all of them, not because of the knowledge, but because obviously you can. You're gonna know what I mean in a minute. And this young man, and I call him young man every time I see him, he's one of the youngest people I've ever met. I don't believe on age being a number, but on how much you dream, how much you are excited about the future. I know people who are 18, 20 years old, and that all they do is that they are sitting down on their sofas, playing video games with no hope, with nothing to do. And when you ask them, they've got no aspiration. And I know it's probably an age thing, but I know people who are on their 70s, 80s, 90s, and every time you see him, they are reinventing themselves, excited about the future, building themselves to be even better. And I learned from this man and his wife so much. They are an inspiration to me, and I wish when I'm their age, I'm half as successful as they are, not only in entrepreneurial world, because they are very successful, as you guys will know, but also in their hearts, in their souls, the success that they have as a family, the amount of impact that they've had in the UK industry in social marketing. So tonight we're in with a conversation with a legend. They actually started their business over in Japan, but they built a business in the UK and in several countries around the world. So Paul Christophers, he knows everything about being an employee. He knows everything about being self-employed, and he knows everything about being a successful business owner. But not only he knows that, but he's so humble that he continues to learn. And that tonight he's going to show us all that. So how are you doing, Paul Christophers?
Doing great. I wonder if you're really talking about me. Goodness me. I certainly don't know everything. If I did, I'd be sitting on a 50-foot boat in the Caribbean right now. And concerning being humble, well, if you knew our story, we've got an awful lot to be humble about. So that's off you go. Please be gentle with me. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Paul, for taking some of your time, your wisdom, and your knowledge with being here tonight. Thank you very much, Hinako. I've now seen you over there. Hopefully we'll have the opportunity to have this sort of interview with you in the near future as well. It's always a privilege learning and getting this sort of material out, because there's a lot of people who can benefit from your experience. So Paul, I'm going to start by asking you this question. Being a successful employee that you were, being a successful small business owner, and being a successful big business owner and entrepreneur, why would you recommend people who are joining us tonight, who are watching this video, to start a business of their own or to start building a system with your expertise and experience? Why would you recommend them to start learning the skills to do that?
Because of simply security. It's a matter that the world is in a very fragile place. It possibly has been for all its history, but it's a matter of security. Jobs are not secure, countries are not secure. There's a lot of international frictions going on, and you can never guarantee your own health. And therefore, we believe that our particular form of network marketing is the best form of establishing a long-term, we say a long-term sustainable income. Other people would say a residual income or a royalty type of income. And for me, I think it boils down to long-term financial security. And particularly now, because of this COVID situation, right? The government has been giving away a lot of money. And I'm not making any political observations here, but the country is quite in debt, quite a lot. And that money is going to have to be paid back. And it's going to be paid back not just by our generation, but future generation as well, maybe 2-3 generations ahead. So by building our network marketing business, we can not only create long-term financial security for ourselves here in the here and now today, but for our kids and our grandkids. And actually, I would say that I have so much faith in the long-term sustainability of our business and our Amway business, that I'm so confident that my granddaughter is already retired. And
that's amazing, Paul. When you talk about that,
and she happens to be, I'll just say she happens to be 6 months old.
That's absolutely unbelievable. That's unheard of.
Not only she doesn't speak English either.
Yeah, that's unheard of, because of what you guys built together with your wife several years ago, that your family can have this sort of security for generations to come. And it's kind of it's hard to understand, because people they look at a job as a secure way of generating income, but with what you guys are seeing right now and everything that's happening is actually not. Building something that belongs to you is the most secure thing to do that. Now, Paul, this is a very difficult question, and I don't know if you can answer it. Just tell us, how many years together with Hinako have you guys been business owners in the social marketing industry? By the way, we're going to be explaining everything that we do. We're going to be talking about the products, how much you guys can make. So make sure you stay tuned, because up until the end, we're going to have you on the edge of your seats. And if you guys have questions, make sure you send them to us. So how many years have you guys been on the social marketing industry? And this is the difficult question. Roughly, how much is your business turnover? I know it's difficult to calculate, because you guys have several businesses in different countries, and businesses that are attached to yours and everything. But roughly, what's the global sales of the business that you and Hinako have built, and how many employees do you need to run your business?
It's about £4 million a year altogether, and we have no employees. Now, in Amway terms, that is not very significant. I mean, it's a good business. It supported us for 30 odd years, created financial freedom from all that time. But in the great scale of things, that's not huge. But sometimes I read in the newspaper about successful people with online businesses, and they're making lots of money, far more, than we make or may ever make. And then I dig down and I go and follow them and look at what they're doing and so forth, to find out how they built these online and social media business and so forth. And at the end of the day, they have stock, and they have staff, and they have premises, and they have overheads, and they have risk, and they travel around the world, in their first class and so forth. And I think, what's new? It's just online. But if it ends up like that, what's new? What's the big deal about social media if you're going to end up with a business with staff, stock, premise, overheads? So the point is, whether or not you think £4 million turnover, right, is big or small is not the point. The point is, we have been financially independent for over 30 years, and we have no stock, no staff, no stress. Well, I'm married, but besides that, no overheads, and we have a great time. We make friends. We've got our own goals and aims. Even now, you know, when we're, well, I'm certainly me, past pensionable age, you know, and so, you know, you don't need a big business, right, to be financially free. As Robert Kiyosaki says, what you need is not how much you earn, it's how much you keep. Right.
That's such a powerful statement.
Yeah.
Such a powerful statement, Paul.
How much,
you know, to say, yeah, go ahead.
Well, it's not how much you earn, it's how much you can guarantee. So there's not a lot of point in having, you know, a really super duper job in the city and, you know, £100,000 Land Rover and all this sort of thing. Very often those people have got dysfunctional families. They've got, they don't see their family, or they're difficult personal relationships and so forth. And of course, for one reason or another, either business goes down and they could lose that. And I always say to people, you know, your health is not guaranteed. You think you've got a good job, you think you're doing okay, but your health is not guaranteed. You don't, tomorrow's not guaranteed to anybody. So you better have a safety net, you know.
That's absolutely fantastic. And the statement that you said, Paul, £4 million business with 0 employees, just because you are partnered with a company that does absolutely, that does the imports, that does the taxes, this company that does the drop shipping, they do warehousing, they do licenses, they do absolutely not everything, so that you and me as entrepreneurs and business owners can actually focus on what's important for a business, which is obviously the marketing and getting the product to the end consumer. And the more successful successfully that you can do that, the bigger that your business will grow without you having to exchange the most precious asset that you have, which is your time. Because, you know, let's be honest, guys, money goes, comes, and whatever, but time, you know, it doesn't come back. So learning to do that is absolutely crucial. So Paul, now tell us, what is social marketing, or what is social commerce, especially because what we do in our business is a concept called a switch, share, duplicate. And this is the invitation that those of you who are joining us for the first time, especially, you came to see what's a switch, share, duplicate, and how can I, as a new person that probably I don't have any skills, I've never been an entrepreneur, or on the other side, I'm a successful business owner already, I have a successful career, can I, in either side, build a switch, share, duplicate business? What is it really, and how does it work? We'll get into how much I can make and how to start in a minute, but what is it, Paul?
Well, it's an incredibly simple concept. And if you go onto and study the internet gurus, right, online, you know, they will talk about scaling up their business. The business is scalable, right? And they really don't get it, frankly speaking. I think, you know, a lot of internet gurus, the younger they get, the less they actually get it, right, somehow, about what a real business is. And they talk about scalable, which means they're making the biggest business bigger. So you can make somewhere or other, you can always make a business bigger. The point about our business is it's duplicatable. That is the key. It's duplicatable. And when you look at these big business guys, and they're making a lot of money selling books and all sorts of things, you know, and whatever, and how they're doing with affiliate marketing or fulfillment by Amazon. Actually, FBA, fulfillment by Amazon, should really be fulfillment by Amway. It's a far superior form of fulfillment. But anyway, right? And the point is that something is duplicatable, right, by anybody, then there's no limit. You just go on forever. Right? And that is the key to switch, share, duplicate. So it's essentially based upon just continuing to continue our normal everyday purchasing activities, but changing the place we shop, changing the source of supply. That's it.
Nice and simple.
Nice and simple. So, you know, anybody can duplicate, or cleaning your teeth can be duplicated. People say, I haven't got time for this business. Well, I say, if you haven't got time to clean your teeth, I'll go and find somebody else, right? But you've already found the time to clean your teeth, you already found the time to wash your hair, and etc., etc. All right. So that's step one. So nobody is ever too busy to build this business. And of course, because you've got upline help, you know, their time is your time. If it's used well, then, you know, somebody else's time can be your time when you're too busy. So that's the switch. Yeah, just change the place you shop. But what that does is it frees up a lot of money for Amway, because by eliminating middlemen, by not needing celebrity endorsements and so forth, and all the expense accounts of the advertising companies, when we buy a product, that money is in Amway's pocket, right? And they take a certain portion for themselves, and the rest, approximately about 30%, is given back to Amway business owners, right, in the form of bonuses for basically 3 activities. One is for retailing, or one is for actually using the products, because you get rebates. Okay, so you might as well be, save money. That's the first step. Second thing is you can build a retailing business. All right, and the retail profits are separate from what Amway actually receive, but you get the retail profits plus a potential bonus based upon points. Now, those points are like reward points in Tesco's or Sainsbury's or somewhere, but all you get in those shops basically is a credit for products in that shop. With Amway, if you get enough points at the end of the month, change them into cash. And if you like, you can go and spend it in Tesco's. That's how Amway's not going to tell you how to spend it. And then the next form of income basically is to build a network of people, an organization who also have similar brand loyalty to you, to the Amway Corporation and their products, right? So we are rewarded for brand loyalty, and brand loyalty is something that every company wants. Every company is looking for that. And you know what? Most of them haven't got it. And they haven't got it because they have to advertise to get their customers in the first place. So we have the ultimate form of advertising, which is word of mouth. And if you talk to somebody and you recommend something to them that you genuinely believe to be to their benefit based upon your own personal experience, they'll believe you, right? And so they'll buy it and they'll try it, right? And so we build brand loyalty into the products, and the products are so good that once somebody starts to use an Amway product, it's very rare that they will go back to what they were using before. You may have to spend some time weaning them off a product. It took me 10 years to get my mum off Persil and whatever onto SA8, but at the end of the day, she used it for the rest of her life, right? And just to give you an idea of the brand loyalty that Amway products can generate, we left the UK. We left Japan to come back and live in the UK over 20 years ago, right? And we have people, customers, and Amway business owners in Japan who are still using those products, and we're generating income from our activities that we did 30 years ago, and we're not there. We haven't seen them for ages. They're 7,000 miles away, and they still use Amway products. And now a lot of those people are in their second generation. And you know what? It's quite interesting. The second generation don't quite understand how good the products are sometimes, because they never used to have to use the original ones from conventional market in the first place. They never had to make a change. They've grown up with them, but they do have very profound brand loyalty. So just think about that, earning income from activities we did 30 years ago. And then, of course, the main, I would say that after everybody comes in for some money initially, I think, obviously, the vast majority of people, okay? But at the end of the day, right, as we start to understand the business, we start to learn about what we call the second bonus. And that is what a real entrepreneur is interested in, the second bonus, which is a 6% royalty type of income from organizations, leaders that you develop. You can go into detail in that at another time, but it's what they call the leadership bonuses. And we went to a Crown Ambassador, Founders Crown Ambassador, huge business in Japan, right? And we said, we'd like to register you in England. You could at that time, couldn't register you in England in our downline. And he said, yes, okay. He said, but at that time, today, the leadership bonus is 6%. But today is 6%. At that time, it's 4%. So if it was international sponsorship, it would be divided 2 and 2, right? So he said, yes, can if you like. He said, yeah, but I only get 2%. People who build international businesses don't understand the 4%. It wasn't interesting. He was business with 4. Now that's his personal opinion. I was very happy with 2% if we got it. But of course, today, that international, the business worldwide has a huge international implications and so forth. And the 6%, 4% has come 6%. So now the 4% is incredibly attractive. And you put those 4% bonuses together. I mean, the sky's the limit. I mean, it's just incredible. That's where freedom lies.
Wonderful, wonderful, Paul. And to understand that here in the UK, when you build those organizations, the 6% is around £1,000 per organization that you build every single month. That's the minimum. Obviously, it can grow to unbelievable levels, but at least £1,000. That's the average income that you get from probably a property that's not fully paid and rented. It's unbelievable. So the opportunities are endless. Paul,
may I make a point about that very point you're making about property and so forth? Because Sean makes this point. Some time ago, I spoke to our accountant, right? And I said, if I wanted to guarantee £1,000 a month, so that and I just couldn't turn it off, right? £1,000 a month, right? In conventional business, what sort of money would I have to invest? And he said, well, it's an impossible question, really, because it depends what you invest in: stocks, shares, bonds, property and so forth. But most people buy a property on a buy-to-let mortgage, and then so that the rent is paying off the mortgage, so they're not really making any money, and they're holding it off for the future as part of their pension and relying on capital appreciation. So I said, well, stop messing around, just give me a ballpark figure. And he said, okay. He said, all right, I would say possibly, and the figures don't matter, the principle matters, but he says, I would say possibly, if you wanted to guarantee £1,000 a month, regardless of the situation, economic situation, whatever, you'd probably have to find and then invest somewhere between £300,000 and £600,000. Okay, £2,000 a month, platinum, you've got a business asset value, which in conventional terms would be valued at over £1 million. So imagine if you're earning, just imagine.
That's great. We have a wonderful question here from Andy Gordon. We're gonna get to that question because I really like your question, Andy. I'm not gonna let that slip away from my mind. But
I see it first to see if I like it. If I don't like it, I don't.
You are the one who's calling the shots. But I'll read it anyway in a minute. Cool. We're talking about money now. So okay. If I'm honest, I started this business 8 years ago because, yes, I was making money, as well as everyone here in this room. All of you know how to make money. That we're not even questioning that. But something that I always say, having two incomes in my pocket is much better than having one. And especially if my second income can grow to be even bigger than my first, overtake it and become an asset that will, free my time and efforts. But let's say, let's go back. The person who showed me this concept, they say, Mauricio, if you build this business and you build it correctly, within 2 years, you can start to generate around £50,000 on top of what you're making. And in my mind, I said, those £50,000 will be just about how much money I need to, for the deposit to buy my first property. That's my logical thinking at the time. But two things, Paul. You talk about products because obviously we have wonderful products, but how good are those products? Are they the sort of products that I can trust and that customers will trust? How many products or what sort of lines do we have? Number one. And also, let's talk in a few minutes, because I know we can talk for hours about the Amway Corporation. Who is Amway? Who is this company that's leveraging me in building a business and putting all the investment? And there's three questions in one. Number three, how much money can I make if I start building this business? And how does it grow? I know it's a lot of information and we don't have a lot of time, but let's try and cover as much as we can.
First question is, how can we trust the products? Secondly, how good are they?
And let's talk to us about Amway. Who is Amway? And then how much money can I make if I want to join this business, or how do I start making money?
Okay, all right. So firstly, can you trust the products? The point is that the intention from we are very fortunate, Hinako and me, because we have heard Rich DeVos speak from the stage many times, right? And on one of his speeches, he said it's extremely important, he said, for us to be a manufacturer. Most people in our business are not manufacturers, and they rely on outside suppliers. And this has been particularly visible during the COVID-19 thing, where Amway had a control over its supply, but even then had some, TNAs and so forth. But other companies with supply chain challenges and COVID and all sorts of things, they had big problems in getting a lot of products. If you haven't got product, then you haven't got a business. And so Rich and Jay decided from the very beginning that they would be manufacturers in their own right. And also they realized that none of us are actually real salesmen. We're not salespeople. Some people are, but I think salespeople have the most difficult task in building an Amway business, because, you know, they think they have to persuade people. People don't want to be persuaded, right? We don't persuade people, we just tell them the truth. And then let them decide, right? And so because we're not actually salespeople, but we're talking to people, right, and recommending them, because recommending the products to them because we genuinely believe them to be to their benefit, then we don't have to be salespeople. You can never say the products sell themselves. They don't. You have to promote the products, you have to demonstrate them, explain them, talk about experiences, give testimonies. But at the end of the day, the fundamental underpinning of the business is products which certainly are as good as, and in many cases better than, anything you will find in the open market. They've got some USP, unique selling point, whatever it may be. And I've heard it said that Amway's pioneers many products, and they do stay ahead of the market. But when another company catches up, which is obvious they do because they watch Amway, all the conventional companies, right, and they make a product which is equivalent, then Amway will take it off the market because they only want products which are better than what other companies are producing. So you have 100% confidence in the products that they will do what it says on the tin. And of course, Amway's got this 100% money back guarantee, you know.
Great.
And I'll tell you a quick story. I don't know, but anyway, quick story. Right. I was.
We have around 10 minutes, Paul, and we have two wonderful questions.
I'll tell you that story. That's how good the products are, right? And that is part of the company philosophy. The company is not out there to sell products. That's not the company's purpose. That's not why it's set up. The company was founded to provide a business opportunity. That is our real product. And therefore, the first thing Rich and Jay decided was, if we're going to give people a business opportunity, what sort of products should we make available? And they started with consumable products, home care, and that sort of thing, but they had to be the best, right? About Amway, I don't know where to start. I don't know. The thing, I suppose, the simplest thing for me to say is, after all these years, I trust Amway. I trust it. And Rich DeVos wrote this wonderful book called Compassionate Capitalism, right? And I now have a blog, compassionate-capitalism.blog, if anybody likes to read it, right? And they built, we're not, we don't get involved in religion or politics or anything in our business, but they were devout Christians, right? So they have, from the very beginning, made sure that the company was developed along very lines of avenues of very highest integrity, okay, and the moral high ground, if you like. Now, there've been many court cases and so forth, but that has never been to attack Amway itself. Only the business model, according to the laws. My battery's running low. According to the laws of that particular country. Excuse me, I don't know why my battery is running low. Sorry.
While Paul Christopher comes, oh, there you're here.
Okay, sorry, I don't know. Yeah, should be okay. If not, I'll dash.
I think Paul's gone, so I'll continue until he comes back. So yes, Amway actually is the #1 company in the world in the direct selling or in network marketing. It's been #1. I'm not saying one of the best or a company that's growing. I'm saying the #1 company in the world.
Okay.
Are you back, Paul?
I'm back. Different computer. Sorry about. I don't know.
That's okay. That's okay. You're quick.
It's plugged in. I don't understand. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, so we're talking about, I think if you don't trust the company you're associating with, then it's very difficult to talk to other people, particularly if you've got a relationship with them that you do nothing to jeopardize. So the number one thing for me actually is trust. I believe in what I'm doing, or we believe in what we're doing, and we believe in the people that we're promoting. The Amway Corporation has faithfully paid bonuses for the last 60 years, and we're confident it will continue to pay its bonuses for the next 60.
Yes, so Paul, about money, how much money can I make, and how do I start making money?
No limit, absolutely no limit. All right. Imagine like the McDonald's franchise, for example, and the family or whoever owns the McDonald's franchise holding it, and saying, well, that's a limit now. You can't open up any more franchises anywhere in the world. No. McDonald's opening up franchises every month somewhere, every week maybe, every day maybe, right? There's no limit to the number of McDonald's that there will be. 10, 20 years might be double. And it's the same with us. You'll never run out of people who want what Amway offers. You never run out of them, right? And in fact, we, in no country have we ever firstly caught up with the birth rate in terms of people joining our business, or kept up with the number of people who are 18 years old and coming into the jobs market. We're always falling behind. So there are more potential people who could potentially be in the Amway business now than there were when we started this program 30 minutes ago. You will never run out of people, never, ever.
So something I usually say to people is something very simple, and I call it baby steps. So, let's start with the basics. Let's start with you getting a product, brand experience. And number one, let's work so that you can make 100 to 200 pounds profit in your first month. If you do that, I know it doesn't sound like, wow, I'm a millionaire with 200 pounds, but the amount of good that it does to your self-esteem and entrepreneurial self-esteem, and it will do wonders. And if you learn how to make 200 pounds on top of what you're making, but it's not because you're getting a pay rise, it's because you built a business and this business is giving you profit. Most businesses, they don't give you profits on the first months or years. In this business, you can. And if you do that, then your mind is going to start to say, how can I make 500? How can I make 1,000? How can I make 2,000? And certainly that's how we started building and expanding business. Let's go to the good questions pool. Number one, and this is an important one. Now, it's about attitude. Now, what's the best thing? How to maintain your positive thinking and driving a business forward? How do you actually keep positive, Paul, so that you can build your business and expand it?
Oh, you have to stay you have to stay close to your upline, stay close to your organization, attend all the events, read all the books, and not listen to the news or read the newspapers.
That's difficult. That's difficult, Paul, because we are surrounded by negativity all the time. Everything, if you switch on the TV, there's this many deaths, there's this many kidnappings, wars, the economy, and everything is designed, to keep us in fear. So that I say, oh, I should be thankful that I have a roof under my head and a job that allows me to survive. And that's how most people live. That's difficult.
Yeah, it's I think I don't know if it's just me, but I think perhaps people, mankind, whatever, they naturally negative. They don't, I don't know, if that, but I've always had to work. I've always been positive and ambitious in a way, but first thing in the morning when you wake up, somehow you need a good run before your blood starts to circulate. You say, let's go. You know what I mean? Somehow, even at this time, I mean, we never get really downhearted, but we still, read the books. We still get incredibly motivated by attending meetings such as yours and Diana's. And we really appreciate that. So it's a constant thing. It's a constant thing. Because if we were just outside of this environment and just involved in what's going on, the things you just mentioned outside, I think we'd be pretty gloomy, really. Yeah.
Paul, I'll actually answer that. I really like your question, Andy Gordon, and I'm going to tell you the way that I did it. And in my case, it's because I had my dream so clear. And I'm going to be honest, my dream wasn't even that big. My dream was to one day have the opportunity to make money without having to go to work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. That was my dream. I said, if one day I can make a living without having to exchange my time for money, and I can use my time to do what's important for me, that's it, I'm set. And for me, it was making around £3,000. So it wasn't such a huge dream, because I know that some of you have dreams of, being an inspiration to your children, traveling the world, paying off debts, buying a house, buying a Ferrari. I don't know. But for me, it was so clear. And I saw that the Amway business was an opportunity for me not to make £3,000, but to build a business that generated that sort of money for me. There's a huge difference. So for me, the decision was simple. I had two options. So for example, listen to a podcast that's going to empower me and that's going to give me energy, or go and play video games. So the balance for me was clear. Okay, so yes, probably I like playing video games, but listening to a podcast is gonna give me more. So I had two options: either go and watch the TV, or go and attend a meeting like this, where I'm gonna be surrounded by people that are gonna add value to my day. So the balance was clear for me, and every single day I had this balance that allowed me to make the decisions and stay positive, so that I could drive my business forward. I just love your question. And Paul, you're gonna love the next question. Is that from a young man called Juan Paulo, and he's asking, why is Amway not a pyramid scheme, Paul?
The reason it's not a pyramid scheme is because it was never intended to be a pyramid scheme in the first place. Rich and Jay decided they wanted to drive a cart and horses through this concept of a pyramid, i.e. if you work for a company, whatever business you're in, you work for yourself, it is pyramid with someone at the top, and then you've got employees, managers, sub-managers, employees, and so forth. That is a conventional shape, if you like, structure in any social activity, whether it's politics or it's the military or economics or business and so forth. So they deliberately set out from the very, very beginning to create a form of business which was not pyramidal from the very beginning. It's not changed, it's never has been, right? That was their initial intention, right? So then when people talk about a pyramid, what they're thinking is not only about the structure, but the fact that somebody above may be exploiting or using somebody below them, right? So that it is not actually fair. Right, somebody's always making money out of someone else. So there's always somebody at the top who makes more money than anybody else, right? But what they decided to do was to work out a system that was fair. So you were not paid according to where you were in the structure, but according to your results. Therefore, if you built a bigger business than anybody who'd gone before in your particular line of sponsorship, you'd overtake everybody who's gone before. And I'll tell you two true stories, okay? Right. One is our upline in Japan, founder's double crown ambassador called Kaudo Nakajima. When he joined the Amway business, after it had been set up in Japan in several years, there were already 100,000 Amway business owners in Japan. And he, after a few years, overtook every single one. Right now, there's something like 700,000 or 800,000 Amway business owners in Japan, and he is still earns more than anybody else, so he's overtaken absolutely everybody. And the second thing is, right, we were very fortunate to be at a function where Rich DeVos spoke, and he spoke about the beginnings of the Amway sales and marketing plan, right? And so this was long before the computer, long before calculators and everything. So what they did, they got a long, and this is straight from Rich DeVos's mouth, okay, all right. And they got a very, very long piece of paper, what they call butcher's paper, right? And they laid it out on the ground, and they got down on their knees with a pen and pencil and so forth, and they calculated organizations. They calculated lines of sponsorship with different point levels and income levels and so forth, and they calculated it all the way down to 200 levels in their heads on a piece of paper, 200 levels, and they calculated how much everybody would earn according to what they had achieved right? So that everybody took out in direct proportion to what they put in. And they worked all their way up to 200 levels, all the way back down to 200 levels. And then they said, if it will go for 200 levels, it'll go forever. And that was 60 years ago. And it has gone forever, and it is going forever. And a pyramid, right? Well, Sainsbury's, everything is a pyramid. But if you're thinking about an illegal pyramid, right, they don't happen to last. There is, in fact, somebody at the top who makes money out of somebody else. But if you look at the history, they last about 6 months. Somebody at the top does sometimes make money. Some people at the bottom do get left with the garages full of stock. But it is impossible. It is factually impossible to have a 60-year-old pyramid which operates in 100 countries and turns over $8.5 billion every year. Impossible.
Yeah, and that is the #1 company in the world in the industry. So yeah, I just love your questions, Paul. There's several things. Obviously, we can talk about that. That's a pyramid scheme doesn't have products or services, but it's more that you make money from people who come in the pyramid and make money. So the aim is to make as much money and bring as many people who who put in their money, so that you can make money before the pyramid finishes. No, Amway doesn't work like that. Amway works, and the money that we make depend on the productivity and the productivity of your business and getting the product to the end consumer, and that's lovely. I just feel so proud, Paul, just getting into another topic that I can add value to people's life by giving them a double X. I add value to people's lives when I do that and give them the #1 multivitamin in the world. I add value to people's lives when I promote them LOC, so that they can save from 50 to 70% in whatever they are spending in the supermarket already, so that they can stop throwing away about 90% of plastic, so that they can use a product that in less than 72 hours will be 100% biodegradable. So I add value to people's lives with product. I add value to the environment, and I give people choices and opportunity with this wonderful business. Paul, I just want to thank you massively for your time. Once again, I want to say my deepest admiration for you and Hinako, for your humbleness, for your wisdom, for being an inspiration to us personally. Thank you ever so much, guys, for being a focal point and for being so amazing, for being one of the best teachers I've had in my life, because you are actually practical teachers. You don't say go and do, but every single day you guys go and do it with enthusiasm, with fire in your hearts, and that you're just such a huge inspiration to all of us in the UK, and all of you who have the opportunity in the future to spend time with Paul and Hinako, do it, because the amount of wisdom and passion that this couple have is second to none. We love you guys, and the invitation goes to every one of you who is here in this meeting for the first time to speak to the person who invited you and ask them 2 things. #1, how you can have a brand experience, how you can actually get to try the products, how you can smell them, touch them, and feel them, and know the huge quality of the products. The second thing is how you can actually start your business, how you can open up your own website, how you can go and find your first customer. It doesn't matter the business, whether it's a coffee shop or a restaurant or a clothing shop, whatever. The first thing starts with your first customer, and then how you can start your second, how you can expand, and the opportunities are endless. Thank you very much. Any last words, Paul and Hinako?
Yeah, we were listening the other day to a chap called Ninoy. And Ninoy is at the moment the world's youngest Founders Crown ambassador. He's on Amway's Founders Council and so forth. He at one of his webinars, he asked people, what's the most important thing in the Amway business? And of course, they came back with determination, consistency, never give up, dream, all that sort of thing. And he said, yeah, that's true, but I've got a different way of looking at it. He says, I think that the most important thing, if you're going to be successful in the Amway business, is team spirit. And I'd just like to say, we are really, really so impressed with the team spirit that you and Diana and Christian and Andreas have created since you've got over here. Fantastic job, an example to us all. So if team spirit is the key to success, you've got it.
Thank you very much, Paul. We love it. We love to partner with you and Jason and Juan and all the leaders in the UK, Hubert and Antoinette. I know that you guys are here. Thank you very much for adding value to this organization. Now, so that you guys know, on Saturday, we'll have a business training for those of you who want to know more about how to build a business, get to know the products, how you can actually start building a successful business. Is going to be at 1 p.m. as the person who invited you for the link. And next, I'm so excited about this nutrition masterclass we're going to be having on Saturday, the 10th of April at 1 p.m. This young lady used to be one of the head nutritionists working for the Milan lab when Nutrilite, one of our nutrition lines, used to sponsor them. She's a hugely knowledgeable and successful lady, and she's going to be adding value on nutrition. And this event is going to be open for you guys, for your teams, but more importantly, it's going to be open for new people, for customers, adding value to personal trainers, people who are into fitness, or probably people who are not necessarily into fitness, but are conscious about nutrition and well-being. She's going to be with us for an hour. She is such an eminence in the nutrition world, and she's such an amazing speaker that will add massive value to your day. So once again, let's speak to the person who invited you for the link, and let's make it an event to remember. We love you guys. We hope you have a wonderful week. Here in the UK, we're having a heat wave and spring is here, and people are massively out. Make sure you take your Nutrilite, that you stay healthy, that you stay safe together with your family and loved ones. And we'll see you guys on Saturday. Love you loads. Thank you, Paul and Hinako. Thanks.
Be safe. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Toda la noche rompemos, al otro día volvemos. Tú sabes cómo lo hacemos, baby. This is the rhythm of the night. Baby, tonight's like fuego.